All right. So I'm going to circle back to a Miami
Yes.
Hurricane topic. All right. And this came from
Okay.
State of the U contributor Craig T. Smith.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to abridge this. We're not going to go over all five. I just want to get your opinion. Which one of these five are the most critical success maker potentially for the University of Miami Hurricanes in 2020? So
Okay.
he's like ranking the 5 changes that could be 2020 and make it very different from 2019. So I want to see which one of these 5 is your top. Okay, the first, schedule. It's a very favorable schedule.
Oh, it's
2,
pathetically
4,
easy.
place kicking. We got a new place kicker. We can't undervalue that. That cost us some games last year. Coaching, no more Dan Enos. Okay. Offensive tackles. We started when we initially went to Green Tree. We're doing a 2-a-day this week on 86. The offensive tackles and De'Aaron King. So out of those 5, De'Aaron King, the offensive tackles, coaching, place kicking, and scheduling. In your opinion, which one do you think is the most important for a successful season in 2020?
I will. Well, I have I have 2 because one of my the most important thing you didn't even mention. So I will say, out of your 5, I would say it's De'Aaron King having that stability, that competence at quarterback is something that we have not had. I mean, Malik brought some of that maturity to it, but we haven't had someone like him at quarterback in a long time. But I would say number 1, dude, this is all on Manny. Manny needs to be a better head coach. Manny can't go 0-4 coming out of bye weeks. Manny can't lose. So I hope that Manny spent a lot of time during this pandemic looking in the mirror and figure out how he can be a better head coach, how he can get to these guys better. Not because that is my biggest issue. That's our biggest hurdle in my mind, is him becoming a really good head coach. Because last year, dude, it pains me to say, but he was not.
Well, that's under coaching. So,
but then because I don't like to put those together, because bringing in Lashley was huge. So there's a positive there. I think Manny's his own thing. He's the head coach. He's the CEO. He's his own thing, and he's got to be better.
I will say this: out of all the coaches, let's go back a little while. You had Rick, you had Golden, you had Randy. I think early on in his tenure as a head coach, the one that has showed the ability to change what's not working the fastest is Manny Diaz.
Absolutely. I'll give you that. Yes.
He's got to put it on paper this year, but you knew what was broken last year. Everybody knew what was broken.
But as a result, he's made a lot of mistakes. He's had to make a lot of changes.
Yes.
So there's there's another side to that. Yeah.
There's an initial go around there that, yes, he's got to take a hit. He's got to take a little bit of a fall because you hired those guys that you had to replace.
Yeah, exactly.
However, the fact that we weren't stuck with a D'Onofrio-esque situation for another 5 years, or a Mark Rick calling plays for a 3-year situation, that's 8 years that could have been,
No, I give him credit for that.
Better options.
I give him credit. That's why I'm optimistic that maybe he did some really good self-reflection over the offseason and improved himself.
Out of those 5 topics, which one do you think is the most important for a successful 2020 season?
I think it's a kicking game.
Okay. It cost us games. It really did.
How many? 2 or 3 games last year.
It cost us many.
North Carolina.
It doesn't just
Virginia Tech.
It doesn't just cost you games.
Cost you momentum.
Really, it costs you momentum. It costs you confidence. Right. So
costs you the locker room.
You're within. You're at the 20, and it's 4th and 4. And as opposed to any marginal situation, as opposed to automatically kicking it, not necessarily automatically making it, but automatically trotting out the field goal team, because look, this is a situation we need the 3 points, as opposed to having to go for it, which you saw numerous times last year in the second half of the season. They literally had to go for it in certain situations where you never should. And that changes everything. It changes momentum. You miss it, you get the ball back you lose the possession, you don't get the points. It's just it really is like a snowball effect of not being successful in that aspect. Think of all the teams that kick against us and they never miss, right? They didn't miss for 3 or 4 years, right? And it's one of those things that, yes, if it's going bad, it's demoralizing, not just for the kicking game, but as it trickles down. It's kind of like having really good depth and your special teams, not kicking game, but your special teams being really, really good, because the kids that are third and fourth on the depth chart at corner are great athletes. They're just not good enough to play corner yet, but they're great on special teams. And then you lose that one guy, it all trickles down. So I think that's my number one.
So before I get to my number one, I want to say, I never thought about this, but listening to Scoop talk just now, think about this in terms of the team. And I never thought about combining the two. We knew that the defense, because we've talked about it numerous times, that the defense probably wasn't getting inflated very often by the offense, right? They felt deflated. Now you're getting deflated by the special teams because they're not even remotely close to being special. You have kickers you're marching out there that can't make field goals. So you want to talk about a defense and players on a certain side of the ball that had two hands behind their back, and you only have two hands, and they had them both tied behind their back because they really were dejected at the fact we had such an inept offense and kicking game. Anyways, my two picks, I'm going exactly, and it's the same thing you said, Toast, to a T. De'Aaron King, he's got to be the man, okay? He's got to be the man for a successful 2020. I'm going to go coaching, and I'm going to use the obvious coach in Rhett Lashley.
Okay.
That is the thing that, I can't be screaming from the rooftops for a better part of 10 years saying we need to go to a style of offense, and it's finally here to go ahead and just step that comment. Now I'm going to go full in front, step out in front of the crowd once again and exclaim, Rhett Lashley is the key to this year, and the fact that he has a quarterback who can go ahead and pull the trigger, that's going to be my 1A and 1B.